What if I told you that that little object, that gadget that you got for your young teenage girl or boy in the name of showing them love, and that you don't manage it, you don't monitor, you don't know what is going on there, that is the beginning of a bigger problem for that child? What if I told you that your child currently is in the hand of a stranger that has the intention of destroying their life completely, but you are not aware, and because your child is innocent, the child continues to play to the gallery, and these predators and strangers who are there to destroy children, they have mastered the game very well, and because they have mastered the game, they continue, they are very patient, they'll run through until your child is completely captured and destroyed. What if I told you that if nothing is done at this moment, the child that sleeps with you every day, the child that you work and you spend money on, the child that you do everything and you wish that is going to become a doctor, an accountant, an engineer, and whatever you want, you have already had a dream for, you are discussing with that child is just physically there with you, but no more there because a stranger has taken them away. What if I told you that is exactly the situation of things with you right now? How are you going to feel? Welcome to Frank Talk with Paul, where we share parenting tips and help parents on how to navigate through the journey of parenting their children. Now, if you are a returning subscriber, I want to thank you for keeping faith with us, for being a part of this platform. And if you are just joining us for the first time, you're just coming across, perhaps subscribers who have been a follower of this platform have shared the video with you and you just ran into it by any means, we want to welcome you, we want to thank you. That what we do here primarily is where we share tips on how to manage challenging behavior with children. You will agree with me that parenting is quite a huge responsibility. Like I've always said, it has become a common word with me here now, that if you are not prepared for the smell of smoke, I don't think it is advisable that you get close to fire. What it means is that responsibility of parenting is not just going to bear a child. It goes beyond that. And if you're not ready to take up this responsibility, it is advisable that you stay away from it. But if you take it, it's a brilliant journey, because as you are at the moment as a parent, all you are doing is taking care of these ones who cannot take decisions for themselves. And the time will come when they become adult, where they can decide for them. As you are growing, they're also growing as well. When they come to an adult stage where they cannot take decisions for themselves, they know what is wrong, what is right properly, they can take decisions for themselves. At that point, you're already declining, and then they become useful tools to take care of you. So if you don't do them well at the moment, you will have a no-nonsense person tomorrow that will not even care about anything, that will not even care about your life. You have someone tomorrow that will not even be a friend of mine to be able to help you out. But if you put the right training, if you go through the whole hog, if you do the right thing and you put up all that you need to do, you carry up your responsibility, you live up to your responsibility, tomorrow you'll be glad. Even when you are old and you no longer have the strength to be able to pull through, let you know here that out of every 5 child across the globe, 1 out of every 5 child is being spoken to by strangers. And what these strangers do is a very strange thing. They don't come as strangers, they don't come as adults, but these are predators who are even as old as you. Some are even older than you as a parent. What they do, they create a platform or create profile that show that they are within the age range of your children. And then because children cannot stay without relationship. And that is why I've always said that as a parent, you do everything to make sure that you keep a positive relationship with your children, brother. If you don't have that, if you lose out of bonding with your children, if you lose out of building positive relation with your children, someone else will do, because they don't allow any vacant ground in their mind. If the parents don't do that, the strangers are there and they walk into the hands of the stranger that will destroy them. And so what these people do, what these predators do online, the first thing they do is to establish friendship. They establish friendship. This is where they show all kinds of resilience. They are patient with the children. They are very resilient. They don't get angry. Whatever the child does, get angry. Because you as a family, as a father, as a parent, as a mother, as a father, when the child does something, it's very easy. When the thing irritates, you might just react. And the child say, my dad reacts very easily. My mom reacts very easily. When I do anything wrong, they get scared. But this one who is a friend of mine, when I use any word, he allows me, she allows me. And then, because they feel that is where they have their own safety. Unfortunately, that is just a predator tactics on getting them. Once that is done, the next step they take is to do what we call trust building. Now, trust is very key for children. Children love trust a lot. Once the trust is broken, you are in trouble. That is why you must do everything to make sure that the trust of your child is not lost. Because when the child does not trust you, they act it out. They don't trust you, they don't trust your judgment. But when you try as a parent to build that trust, because they spend the whole of their life with you, you are your parent. When they build that trust, and that trust is not broken that for other person to take advantage of, because they needed somebody to trust. The moment that trust is there, your child can easily come up to you and say, Mom, Dad, I have somebody who is speaking with me and this is exactly what he's doing. But if that trust is not there and they build that trust with that person, they rather tell that person who had presented themselves as their pair, as friends, in natural sense, in reality, these are adults. Now, they tell those ones all the things, all the tactics that you would have used to get them. They continue to give information to the predators about what you are doing because they have lost trust in you and they put trust in that person. The predator takes time. They know what it takes to be able to build trust with children. And the moment that trust is built, the next thing is isolation. They isolate your child. And that is why you begin to notice that your child will begin to walk away, walk into the bathroom quietly, keep away from everybody, not engaging when you give them food. They take their food quietly and go to a private room. I want to stay. I don't want any noise. I don't want anybody with me. They do all of that. When they come back from school, when you're going, they say, Nadia, I'm having some time on the internet. I just want to read. I just want to make some research. I just want to spend time with my friend and all of that. And you allow that in the name of feeling that the child is not disturbing. The child is not making any trouble. The child is not engaging anymore. That's fine. He's at home with me. She's at home with me. I can see her. I can tell you that is a sign that the child is being exploited by a predator. The last one is exploitation. The moment they succeed, the first place in building friendship, the second thing they do is to build trust, which is a very key factor in deciding what direction the child goes. Once they build that trust, they move into isolation. Because the trust is built now, they can tell the child, please don't go out, please stay with this, please don't say this to your parents. Please don't say this to your teacher. Please don't say this to this. Because trust is built, the child now is being remote controlled. You can send it to the child and the child will do that. The moment that gets done and the child can go this way, go that way, being controlled by the predator, the next, which is the last one, is exploitation. That is why they begin to exploit them sexually. They begin to exploit them. Some of them are being used to carry drugs. Some of them are being asked out of your house. They will tell you, Daddy, we are coming there. They won't even tell you exactly where they are going. They may tell you have a program. Because if the child said, what am I going to tell my dad or my mom that I'm going to do now that outside school I'm supposed to be here, they will tell them exactly what to tell the parent. And if you are a careless type that do not watch what happened around them, you begin to come with all of these excuses because they've taken their time to plan all of this out. And because the child has been isolated from you, when they discuss and tell them strategies on how to discuss and to destroy them, it's very easy. Before you know what happened, the child is destroyed. And then one day you just be at home or they just give you a call and say your child was caught with drugs. Somebody is using them. And the person that is using them, they'll promise them heaven and earth. Everything will be made available for them. But because you allow them to have built that trust, they will never tell you because they also maintain trust a lot. And that is the reason why you should not allow anybody to do all of that to get your child into that point. Begin to ask questions. How do they get these children? You don't just get on the internet and then you just get them waiting for you. This thing happen very easily on TikTok. TikTok is everywhere. Most of the children that have TikTok, if you know very well that you are not going to monitor conversations or the gadget that your children have access to on TikTok, you don't need to allow them to have access to it. It's not a crime. TikTok does not add any kind of value to them that other than that these people will just go and destroy them. If you're not going to monitor it, you don't allow them to have any TikTok account. Another platform again is Roblox. Roblox is where these children go to do their game. They do all this kind of thing. They are so happy with it. They will talk about they're having their account and all that. That is a place where they also go there to have their account and they chat with strangers. Strangers can come there because these predators are aware that children are always on Roblox. You can hardly find an adult going to do any work on Roblox. Games for Roblox are usually children that they get there. And so they go there, they create their own account. Somebody who is 40 will tell you that on that creating that account, because the account can only be created by the information you give to them, that they are 13 and they are now going for children who are 12, 13 to go and mess them up, to go and groom them and destroy their life. And so if your child falls into this category, you need to be very careful. If they are in this particular platform, you monitor it or you deprive them from it. Otherwise, you're going to be having a problem. Now we're talking about the gaming side, the DMS and the Instagram, and all of these platforms You feel that your child is exposed now, you are in the Western world, and all of this available. The world is a global place now. Everybody is talking about this. You want your child to be part of it, and you think you take pleasure in it. You're not monitoring it. You don't know what is going on there. There's a problem. You need to monitor. If you cannot monitor it, please take the child away until the child become an adult where they can control it, except you are going to be monitoring it so that you see the kind of conversation they have over there. Otherwise, you are gradually losing your child to that predator out there. Now, the question you begin to ask yourself, what are the signs? It doesn't happen without signs. Those children can't pretend. Once they are able to build that trust, first of all, the friendship is built. One thing you're going to be noticing is that each time they come back, they will rather, if you put food and then be on the internet side by side, even when they are hungry and it's very obvious that they have not eaten, they will rather go for the internet and leave the food. I said that mommy will take care of the food later. No, something is wrong. Number two, they will remain on the internet and never tired. When you give them any assignment to go and do, they rather get it done quickly and dump it and walk back to the internet. If the day you tell them, I'm going to deprive you from having access to the internet because this has done, that has done, they will make sure that you are compelled. Maybe not physically because they know they won't be able to beat you. They will manipulate you by all standards to make sure that you approve of them going back to the internet. They will do everything. If you take the internet away from them, you will see them react. They will kick very seriously. They push boundaries. And of course, you know that children push boundary a lot. They will push boundary until, because you feel, that's my child is doing this, he has apologized, he said he's not going to do this again. No, something is happening. Again, this one is common with teenagers who had gone to the level of exploitation, sexual exploitation. What they do usually is they run away. Sometimes you see them visit the toilet very often. When they visit the bathroom very often, as if they're having running stomach and all of that, they don't have any of those running stomach. What they are doing at the point of exploitation, these children go out there, go into the bathroom to go and snap their private part where the predators are asking for them to be sent to. And then, because the predators are also sending theirs to them, they want to see it. They are fascinated. At this point, for them, puberty is already setting in, so their body is tuned to liking such a thing. And they run after that. They go for it, a quick going, and I begin to wonder, what are you running around for? The first thing you do when you start having that kind of a thing is to have an open session with them. Have an open conversation with them. Monitor their gadget and see whether there is anything. And then there are behavioral changes, like they're no more communicating. They're not as engaging as they used to be. They're no longer having too much time with their books anymore. They kept telling you that almost of their work in school have been returned now to the internet. Everything will be done on the internet. And when you say this is the time you have 1 or 2 hours on the internet, they will beg for you to extend it. They don't get tired very easily. When all of those things started happening, they no longer engage with you. You ask them questions, say, Mommy, nothing. You say something, say, what did I say? They say nothing. Everything is well. They no longer engage. You know it is a sign that something is happening. You need to wake up. Otherwise, the predators are everywhere. And I'm sure if you've been on the social media for some time now, the UK government is doing very well. It's happening in the US, it's happening in Canada. They are doing very well. All of them are working very well, very well. They're pulling these predators out. They're deporting some of them who are foreigners, and those who are in there, sentencing them, sending them to jail. But before you do all of that, what if you are careless? What if you're not fortunate for them to have discovered those predators? What will happen to your children? The moment your child gets involved and then they are isolated and then being used to being exploited, it becomes a problem. What if your child goes out to meet them and they are destroyed? I can tell you a case of an individual whom I know. What they did was the child was being groomed. He went on the chatting platform. They chatted, they groomed the child, did everything for that child, gave trust. Trust was built, friendship was there. The child cannot stay without the internet. The moment they go out and there is no internet, they can do anything to have the internet. And there was serious monitoring by the parent. And what happened was that eventually the child got groomed, the friendship was built very solidly, trust was built there. They started controlling by isolating the child. The child wants to be alone, he doesn't want anybody around them again. The next thing we had was that child started going on the street to start dealing on drugs, started carrying drugs. He was lucky, nobody caught him. The police didn't get hold of him. But the parents eventually discovered that this child was buying so many things, coming with so much money, because it was the peddlers to peddle drug from one location to the other. And they were giving this young person money that he had never dreamt in his life. And suddenly the parents now woke up to it and said, what's happening to our child? Where are you getting all of this money from? You're not working yet. It's your child. We don't give you that kind of money. How do you come about all of these things, flashy things you buy? That was when they discovered that the child has started getting involved in peddling drugs. And how did he come about these people? He came about them online. The groom gradually went through the process, and that child was almost destroyed. But another thing again that was discovered, when that child got involved in that, the child lost interest completely in the area of school. Study was no longer of any interest to the child. This was a child that was known for everything. The child knew how to take care of his study. The child always want to go to school if it was possible to extend the school days from Monday to Sunday. The child was prepared for it. He was very happy, was engaging in school, doing everything, good commendation from the teacher. But suddenly the whole thing dwindled because they've already built a different friendship. They took the child away from the direction that was positive, which the parents were directing the child. They swayed the child into drug peddling until that child was saved. That is the situation that is happening right now. It may be your own case. If you are careless about it and say it doesn't happen to me, it will be gradual. Yours might not be as lucky as that of these parents I just told you about now. They were able to rescue the child. It takes a process to get the child reintegrated into the right routine again. But this child has already been done some damages. Yours might not even come that pure. Yours might be that it's a daughter that somebody is just trying to molest out there. Take them out, abuse them, destroy them. By the time they come back, they are done with them, they are destroyed. You have a destroyed child. Instead of starting to the process of going with the growth, you will now begin to battle to restore them to normalcy, and it takes a long process. It will affect the family, it will affect the growth of the child, it's going to affect the society, it's going to even affect the fund of the government, because to restore that child back to normalcy, professionals have to get involved. You take them to the GP, therapy and all of that has to be done. Of course, you know the government pay for most of these services. And so we need to help and build these children so that we can have a sane, fine society tomorrow. This is all I have to tell you today, that the predators are out there. Child can be one of them. Thank you very much for staying up to this point of the video. Like I told you, our videos are usually very short. We're going to talk about other very pressing issues in a subsequent episode. We want to encourage you to share with your family members, your friends, your group, who also may not be understanding all of this, and just look at those signs and careless about them while their children are being taken over by these predators. Let's work together to keep the children safe so that we can have a very secure tomorrow, not for them alone, for us too, because if their tomorrow is safe, our tomorrow is safe. Thank you once more, and see you in our next episode.